Hey guys, and welcome to today's video. My name is Lorraine Chimka. Join me as I talk about all things law, productivity, and personal development with other stuff slipped in. Now, I do want to begin this video with an apology because I had every intention of releasing this on time, but me being me, I put the date down wrong. So today's the 9th of December and the Clifford Chance application deadline is tomorrow, and we are where we are. So this goes out to all my lastminutequeens.com. I'm sorry, but hopefully this should be useful. So in today's video, I'm going to be going through how I wrote my long form answer, which is in the online application of the Clifford Chance app. So basically what happens is you fill out the application as normal with your work experience and your education history, etc. But then there's a long form answer in 600 words, which we'll go into. And then if you're applying for Ignite, you might be asked afterwards to provide a further statement of about 300 words. So without further ado, let's get into it. This video will be slightly different. I will screen record my iPad as I talk through my application, but essentially I'll be going through how I wrote that. So this video is not about how to research Clifford Chance and like why law. I will go through how I wrote my answer, how I planned it, and how I portioned out the word count, and just to give you that kind of last minute advice on making your application stronger. I hope this helps and good luck. Okay, so I've put my glasses on, Apple Pencil at the ready. I'm recording my screen right now on my iPad, and you'll see there is an explosion of color, but I thought I'll just lay the groundwork here so you know what's going on. So one of the things you can expect most likely in the app is a question that's something like, you've told us about your academic achievements and work experience. And now, in no more than 600 words, we are keen to hear 1, more about you, 2, your extracurricular activities, positions of responsibility, and lastly, achievements of importance. Now you can see here the way that I've highlighted the key points. I've put this part in red because that's not what they want you to talk about. They want you to talk about these 4 yellow highlighted things that I've put here on the left. Now, I think this question is quite telling about who Clifford Chance is, because they genuinely care about who you are as a person, not just that you're a brain, but you've got something more to bring to the firm, which I think is reflected because every time someone asks me, what's a Clifford Chance lawyer, what they're looking for, I can't really give an answer because even in my own cohort during the VAC scheme, there were so many different backgrounds and perspectives that really it is about you, your application, and what you bring as a person. So the way that I would approach this question is I would break down those 4 points and portion up the word count. So I would say about 150 words, give or take, for each of those 4 points. The strong thing that you need to do here is to tell a cohesive story. And the way that I did that was using peel. Make it appealing. Sorry, dad jokes. So basically, you need to make your point, show evidence about your point, explain the point and the evidence and why they're relevant, and then link it back to why you, why law, why Clifford Chance. So if we go to the the right here on my app, I've highlighted the first part of my answer, of my 600 word answer, and we'll scroll through this. One thing I will say is your answer needs to be so good that at times it's hard to tell what's the point, evidence, and explanation, in my opinion. As you can see here, the way that I've highlighted my own answer, it all flows together and tells a cohesive story. One of the pieces of advice that I also give when you're thinking about writing your application, don't think, oh, this box is just for the work experience. This is just for that extra question. Think about your application as a whole, right? So when you're writing an essay or dissertation, you wouldn't write like portions and sections without thinking about the context of a whole. So when I wrote my applications, I made sure that throughout all of it, I was telling a cohesive story, and whoever was following that story would be sold. So that's why I start with in college. So the reason why I did this personally is if you followed my journey before, my first and second year grades were not fun. They were all over the place, but I needed to show that despite my academic performance in university, I've consistently always performed well. That was just a blip due to not managing the transition to university well, having to work part-time to support myself and all that fun jazz. And then also to show that after the fact, I've actually gone and been an overachiever because of the work that I do, etc. So let's read through it. So my first point is, in college, I continued my experience as a mentor and ambassador in high school. So hey, Signal, I hold positions of responsibility. I've always been this person who's a leader. And my most proudest achievement here was winning the National Catanians Public Speaking Competition. Again, signaling a skill. I'm a good public speaker, storyteller, and orator. And then because of all of that, I was chosen to represent my college as a valedictorian and also to represent them at their 150th anniversary. Okay, check. She's been there. She's been doing her thing, doing bits. And so I follow that through and say, actually, it didn't stop there. So despite my performance in recognition of my achievements from UCL and after I graduated, I've consistently been invited back to speak on panels at UCL. Funny story, I actually met graduate recruitment at one of those panels, and that's how I found out about Ignite at Clifford Chance. So hey, so basically I've been asked to, again, remember the yellow, I'm explaining why this is relevant and why me, why law, why Clifford Chance, it all links together. So basically because of my alternative career with a law degree and working in fintech. So at the time, I hadn't started my job in legal tech. I was still working at my first job from graduation in fintech. And then I showed that it wasn't just a one-time thing. UCL recognized my achievements because when they were chosen as one of the top 20 universities for graduates employability, they profiled me as one of their most recent successful graduates, you know? So I don't stop there. I also dive into other areas that I contributed to during my time at UCL. So I talk about how I used to write for the Silky Brief magazine, which is the UCL Law Society's magazine. I contributed articles and helped to edit the magazine, also ran for editor. So again, shows that I'm proactive, write well. I've always been about that life. And then I show how I didn't just stop there. I became kind of entrepreneurial in some way. So again, you need to show the firm, basically you're showing the firm that you're a proactive person who they can see growing with the firm, who wouldn't just be just another lawyer, but someone who could win clients, for example, ideate and come up with ideas that help them. Okay. That's just my opinion, by the way. From what I've seen. So here I talk about how I launched my law blog. So now I'm giving you a big chunk of linking here, as you can see on the screen. I started life of a London law student. I give hard facts and numbers. So at the time, the blog had 40,000 readers per year, which is pretty cool. And then through that, I don't stop there. No. I'm giving you more achievements. Okay. So because of that, I talked my way into writing an article for the Times, the brief, on whether or not diversity, again, so I'm just going to highlight this, whether diversity was a buzzword in the legal industry or if it was truly being achieved. So I'm just highlighting that. And then that was by a panel chaired by Lady Hale at the time. And I was featured in Milk Round, the graduate advice website. So why is my blogging relevant? You might think, wait, actually, I can't write about blogging, but yes, you can if it's relevant. So then I write, due to my successes in blogging and networking, I was asked to contribute then at the time on a panel where I spoke at Twitter on using social media to build a professional brand as a lawyer. Boom. I am a Clifford Chance lawyer. That's what I'm telling them. I'm saying I've got the skills, I've got the soft skills, and I've got the kind of technical expertise that they can build upon as a future potential graduate. And then I don't stop there, because then I say, obviously, my greatest achievement, because now I'm directly answering the question, but before I was laying the groundwork to show them that it's not just a one-time thing, it's consistent performance over time. But basically, I was awarded the Best International Future Lawyer Award by the AIJA. So let me just remember my color. There we go. So green is for evidence. So why was this? So it was because of my dissertation, which I originally submitted at UCL at the time. Now, because I'm applying for the tech training contract IGNITE at the time, I needed to signal, again, evidence and explain why I was particularly interested at this point in the application for applying for that. So then I talk about how I wrote an essay. So again, nice explanation. So I wrote about how I explored the often overlooked but positive historical development relationship between technology and the legal profession. And then I give a long explanation about why this was important and why I won the award and got to go to Japan to pick up my award. So again, impressive stuff. So again, if I scroll back up, I hope you can see that it's quite difficult to tell what's a point, evidence, or explanation, but the piece de resistance is that at the end, I start to link all of this ideas together. So basically, building on this idea in recognition of my work and passion for the subject of tech law, hey, Signal, that's what I'm applying for. This is why I'm interested in IGNITE. I was invited to give a keynote speech before some of my legal tech heroes at the time, such as Richard Susskind, Lord Justice Briggs, and Lord Tim Clement Jones. And I delivered a speech entitled The Rule of Law in the Digital Age, Why Should It Matter? And again, I argued that here's the key bit. I'm subtly linking to why me, why law, why Clifford Chance, and in this particular instance, why the IGNITE tech training contract. I'm showing that I'm a potential future thought leader in that area for the firm. It's all about showing potential, guys. I don't think law firms expect you to be the finished package, but you need to demonstrate to them that you have that potential for them to develop you, if that makes sense. You are a worthwhile investment. So here I talk about what I believe, which is my thesis, where I argue that the profession has the power as the gatekeepers of legal expertise to help and define and advocate for a rule of law fit for the digital age by design. I believe that lawyers are uniquely placed. So again, this is where I come in with my sucker punch, like the piece de resistance of the linking of the links of all the links, which is I believe that lawyers are uniquely placed to lead the discourse and set the standards of how ordinary people interact with an ever technological world. I firmly believe that this will require, so again, not only am I making a point, but I'm making the point that I'm the kind of lawyer that they need to help develop this. Again, linking it to IGNITE and the kind of skills that I'd seen that they're looking for through my research before I started the app. So I believe that this will require rethinking of who and what lawyers are, as our understanding of legal implications changes. Clifford Chance has demonstrated that it understands this change through the creation of IGNITE, and I want to be able to contribute to this. So again, I didn't really highlight the second half, but hopefully you can see how I built a story that says started from the bottom, now we're here, from college until university, and now I'm at professional life. This is what I've been aiming for. This is my USP. Tech is what I'm about and is what I'm interested in. A question you might have at this point is, well, how do I develop that? I would say reflect on your interests and your skills and the type of work you've had so far. Try to spot the patterns and see if there's a cohesive storyline that goes through them and plot that. Also, one of the ways that I like to structure my writing. So for example, here I wrote down like the 150 words per 4 points, but I like to think in mind maps. So again, try and mind map around the 4 points here and see actually, okay, so this is the application. So for point 1, what experiences have I had? For point 2, what have I had? Point 3, and that's how I built up my answer. Another key part here is you need to ask yourself, so what? So the way that I make my writing stronger, especially if I'm self-editing, is to ask myself, so what after each and every sentence? Hopefully just by reading my application on the screen, you can see that no sentence goes wasted. So by that, I mean, after each and every full stop, you need to ask yourself, so what? What is this particular part adding to this application? And I think applying this method really helped me in writing my app. So I like to pretend that like there's a Simon Cowell in my head and I just try to sing and he's like, okay, so why should I care? Why should you go to the next round? So for example, let's see, a good part is, let's see. Okay, yeah. For example, During my time here, I also contributed to the Law Society's magazine, Silky Brief, where I wrote articles and was an editor. Okay, so what? Well done. Many people take part in their law society. What did you contribute? What did you bring? Well, I took it a step further. I was able to employ these skills and then launch my own law blog. Okay, well done. Everyone launches a law blog nowadays. So what? Well, here I write about issues, legal issues, and what it's like pursuing an alternative career. And then I have over 40,000 readers, well, at that time anyways, that year. So that was about 2019. No, that's a lie, 2018. When I made the application. And it's like, okay, so what? Well, through running that blog, I was featured in the Times to write for them about diversity and whether it's being achieved in the legal profession. And then so what? Okay, so what? Who cares? Well, due to my successes, I then ended up speaking on a panel at Twitter on using social media to build a professional brand as a lawyer. So throughout my application, I'm showing consistency. I hope you've enjoyed that video. I know it's very, very short, but I hope kind of seeing that glimpse shows you an idea of how you need to be writing and approaching your application. Apologies for it being very last minute, and good luck to everyone applying. I will likely do a more in-depth part 2 as well. Until next time, again, no catchphrase. So good luck, guys.